Welcome back to another edition of the No Further Comments podcast, aka the NFC. I'm your co-host Alex Meacham, and to my left is the talented, very well informed, usually pinless, still no Snapchat,
No Snapchat.
still no Venmo,
No one's getting Venmo.
but he remains a local fashion icon. He is Glenn Riley.
What to do, man?
Not much, man. How you tell everybody about the hiccups?
I had the hiccups like maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, for maybe 3 days straight. I don't know what that was about.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and
I get pissed when I have it for like 3 minutes.
yeah, it's problematic. I don't know what the deal was.
Did you find out why you had the hiccups for that long?
No, my you're not supposed to like get alarmed until it's like 2 days. And since it was leading into a weekend, I hadn't like reached the threshold yet. So by the time I got the medicine, they were pretty much gone. So
Now, if it happens again,
I got the medicine. I got it on me. I carry it with me.
all right. Now that you're feeling better, what's going on? Anything new?
Nothing at all, man. A slow period.
Okay.
Just at home watching Netflix, man. Bought some penny stocks today.
Did you?
In the blockchain sector, this is apparently the technology that's fueling Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency. So if these 12-cent stocks ever blow up, I got a million shares of them.
So you getting ready to drop some financial knowledge on the folks today?
Probably not. I don't know much enough.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Usually you do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if the conversation steers that way, but I
Okay.
mean, you know.
We'll see. So it's been a little bit since our last podcast with Dermar Johnson.
Yep.
Which was very well received by Bearcat Nation.
Okay.
But yeah, we've had a little
We
bit
don't
of time
cater
off.
to them though.
What's that?
So we shouldn't cater to them.
Ah, we should. Come on. But I took a trip down to Florida.
Okay.
Went to the Florida Gators versus LSU football game.
Okay.
Had a great time. My Gators lost because of a botched PAT.
Wow.
Florida's kicker is one of the best kickers in the country.
So you say.
But it was the holder that drive.
Oh, blame the holder.
It was disappointing.
See the backup quarterback?
They lose. I don't even know
You
who
don't
he
follow
is.
the holders.
I don't follow. Yeah, I'm not big. I don't look.
He was a 4-star holder.
But yeah, so they said they lose by 1 point, which brings me to ask you, what your thoughts are on the uniforms that the Gators wore this past weekend.
Yeah, that was one of the worst ideas I've seen done. Particularly coming out of Nike, who normally has seems to have stuff well thought out. But just if it was just the color, I wouldn't have minded. But when they got into the scale print or whatever, that's Under Armour level of silliness and conception. So
and what's a little bit bizarre to me is Florida is not. They're more of a traditional. They've had the same uniform for so long, and I figured
which
if they
need
were
to change.
I agree with that 100%. But I figured if they were going to go a different route, it wouldn't be this drastic and just. But I tell you one thing it did do. It was on Twitter. I mean, it was everywhere. And it got a lot of people's attention. Of course, you have.
All attention isn't good attention, Alex.
That's right. But you had some recruits that loved it.
Yeah, they need to go back to those retro joints that they rocked a couple times in the Chris Leak era, with the white helmet with the yeah. I mean, I would use that as a base and then craft something modern out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I hate the Gator patch on the uniform.
Right. I agree with that.
That element of green just like throws everything off. It's like, come on.
Right.
Your colors are your colors. I get it, the Gators are green. But
for some reason, they used to have red and blue.
Okay.
Like years and years ago.
Pre-Spurrier?
Before that.
Pre-Spurrier playing?
Yes.
Okay, wow.
And the reason I say this is because when I was at the game, they brought back, it was homecoming weekend, so of course they bring back a lot of the former cheerleaders, band people. Where the band people had
cheerleaders?
They had old cheerleaders doing the cheers. Seriously.
Oh, wow.
But they had this is the thing. They had old band people,
okay,
and they were wearing like red and blue, and they had a big drum that had a gator that was red and blue.
Oh wow!
And I said to my brother,
it's just faded. It's just faded
it
orange.
was from back in the day, just faded out. But had a chance to go and watch the Gators hoops teams practice,
Okay.
and they look like they're going to be pretty good. I'm going to play my Bearcats, and we're going to talk a lot of college basketball a little bit later.
Yeah.
And talk about all the scandal and
I tell you,
all that good stuff.
and Alex is waiting to benefit from the scandal. He's been sitting back years waiting for things to go his way.
Oh yeah. I want to ask you. I know we're older, but
speak for yourself.
Halloween's coming up.
Yeah.
Would you dress up
No.
for Halloween? You wouldn't?
No.
If you were, who would you be?
That's a good question. Probably something Ray Shremmer, possibly.
I should have known.
I don't know.
Do you have any suggestions for me? I got to go to a couple events where
Okay.
I think I'm going to dress up. So would you... And I'll tell you what someone advised me to do.
I know it, but you refuse to do it.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
You need to do that once a year. You need to do this.
Your idea was for me to do it at a Bearcats basketball game and sit.
Exactly, a front row, because you can get front row tickets and go with no irony, act as though you were actually reggaeton superstar Pitbull, and you will never do that. And that is the ultimate. That's the ultimate move for Alex Meacham to do. You're the only person in Cincinnati who could do it. Either do that or do the country guy. What's his name?
Oh, Kenny Chesney.
Yeah, I mean that would be so great. Cause
I might do that.
obviously they would. Well, you gotta do both, man. You can't.
No, I might do.
You can't pander towards country and hate on reggaeton, knowing that the people of Puerto Rico are going through trouble right now, and you refuse to. In fact, here's what you do: you make it a fundraiser.
Okay.
Yeah, so you do some tide, you go.
Oh, a
around,
fundraiser for Puerto Rico.
Yeah, you go around. You say you're gonna, people are like, no, you're not gonna do it. Say, yeah, well, $20, I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? You get enough boosters to pay you and your Pitbull. Dollar or whatever it is, whatever you say.
Front and center is our super producer, Mario Doremus.
Throwing the word super around awfully.
I mean, when you talk about Mario, man, Mario has moments of just brilliance.
Yeah, no one can deny that.
Yeah, just we've got to maximize that a little bit more.
Yeah, it's a way of a little bit of Mario goes a long way, but you have to figure out how to use it. It's like he's like Reggie Bush. You can't, maybe not worth the number 2 draft pick, but he could be effective if you pattern the right offense around him, if he can stay healthy.
You just look for it.
I'm usually healthy, so.
Yeah, well there you go. Yeah, once you start getting the carries though.
Hey Mario, Halloween. Who would you be for Halloween?
Probably a lot.
Was that right on
That's
cue?
what I'm saying. There you go.
That was right on cue.
Classic Rio.
Oh boy.
Who else could I be?
You're right.
John Legend.
You're right.
Who could Mario be good? But I mean, nowadays, like the Black Panther movie trailer just dropped. So I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure that's some folks are gonna start doing that left and right. I
Right.
don't know.
Mario, just go with the rock.
Mario can be the Sean Kaiser.
I might get benched for Kevin Hogan.
Oh, to my right is our super intern, Will Soul. What's going on, Will?
Not much. How are you?
Good. You ready to get after it today? You've helped out in some of the notes, some of the research.
Putting the notes together.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Who would you be for Halloween, real quick?
I was thinking about it. I couldn't think of anything. You got any ideas for me?
I don't. I had to think about that a little bit. Yeah.
Are people doing Pennywise left and right this year because of the movie It, the clown? I hope that's not a thing.
I don't know. I don't have my pulse on it. Who? Will?
That's probably not good with the clowns thing that happened last year.
Yeah.
Well, you could be Woody from Toy Story.
That's true. That's true. What do you think about that, Will?
I don't know. You got some good ideas for Halloween costumes.
Yeah. Somebody wants me to be LeVar Ball. Grow the mustache out.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think you should be like just get a white shirt.
Nah. That's too
Oh,
easy.
that's good too.
Possibly.
That's too easy. That's too easy.
Any Yul Brynner role?
Now that my grandmother used to call me that all the time.
Wow.
Yes, before
Yeah.
she had passed. Yep.
Man, well, there you go. In honor
I
of
should.
you could be
I
the
should.
king and I.
I should. Well, listen. I've said this before. This is only my third time
Okay.
in 38 episodes.
Okay.
We have a special guest.
That's right.
Now, we got a little bit of criticism because we had Corey Blunt and Dermar. Got a little bit of criticism from the Xavier Nation
Okay.
that we don't have enough Xavier
Uh-huh.
representation on our guests.
But you said X gonna give it to you.
It's gonna give it to you. So, I reached out to someone.
We went straight to the top.
Straight to the top,
we,
is
we,
right.
we didn't dilly dally.
No. This gentleman is a Moeller High School, Cincinnati, Ohio grad, 1983?
84.
84? Excuse me. 84. Was a star, not only basketball, but a star football player.
Okay.
Did you know that?
No.
Received a scholarship to play basketball at Xavier University, which we're going to talk about. I want to know why Xavier. All-time leading scorer in Xavier history,
The God.
2,696 points. First Xavier player to ever have his jersey retired, number 23. He played on the first ever team, and correct me if I'm wrong, first ever team in Xavier history, 1987, to win an NCAA tournament game.
That's correct.
Had 29 points over Missouri. I'd like to welcome in the greatest Xavier, not only basketball player, but I think Xavier
Athlete of them all. And one small fact, all-time NCAA score in history to wear ponies.
Byron Larkin, ladies and gentlemen.
Well,
What's going on, B?
not much, man. Well, you did a good job on those notes again, because those are
Yep.
spot on.
Those are
there.
spot on?
Yeah,
Yeah.
spot on. Except the graduation year.
Yep.
I wasn't sure about that one.
You told me 83.
I know.
had
did
you take care of that.
because I was
That's
looking
it.
at.
Making him older.
I was kind of doing the math there,
That's all right.
Okay, that's okay. That's all right. When you 50-something, it doesn't matter. You good, well.
but I saw you
good.
beat Missouri by 1 point and then lost to Duke by 5. Duke by
Yeah.
5.
Yeah,
This guy, he's
Will's on
Johnny
it.
on the spot.
That's right.
Yeah, I remember that game. We were beating him the entire game, too.
Johnny Dawkins era.
Who won the tourney that year?
Kansas.
Kansas
Okay.
did.
Who was on that Duke team?
Danny Ferry, Tommy Amaker,
Ooh.
Ala Abdel-Nabi,
Mm.
Quinn Snyder.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
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 Was Jay Billis there? Or
No,
that was after?
Jay was gone.
Okay.
Like, Jay left the prior year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So,
Did you make one shining moment? Did you make the one
Yeah, I
shining
did.
moment?
Yes, I did. Actually, it was the Missouri.
Okay.
The prior game, one shining moment. Yes.
I love
That's
one
it.
shining
I
moment
did too.
in the '80s, and they played that joint out so much now that when one shining moment comes on, I'm praying for a new network to get the tournament just so I don't have to deal with one shining moment.
really?
Yeah.
They tried to mess with it. Like before, it was Luther Vandross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I think it was Jennifer Hudson.
Yeah, they
Did
keep.
the-
It's
no,
ridiculous.
Jennifer needs to lead us alone.
Yeah.
Too
This
much.
is a Luther thing.
Yeah.
You know, that's the.
Did they go
one-shot
back?
moment.
I don't even.
I don't know. Last year, I'm not sure. I know the year before,
Yeah.
prior,
Yeah,
it was Jennifer Hudson,
Okay.
and it just wasn't the same.
Because it wasn't Luther until maybe the '90s, because it was just a generic CBS
Really?
commission. Yeah. Yeah, you can look at most of them online. The year before they did that, I think this is the year that NC State won, they did a musical montage, and it was the theme from the movie Patton,
Okay.
which was cool, but it was weird. And then they came up with their own music, and it's been like that for the last like 30-something years.
Little history there.
Yeah, man. YouTube.
But, Byron, can you take us through? A lot of people want to know why Xavier.
It was really simple, Alex. They came after me the hardest.
Okay.
I always felt like that I was going to commit to the school that wanted me the worst. I wanted to be their #1 choice. I didn't want to be, oh, we didn't get this kid, so we'll take Larkin.
Right.
No, I wanted to be the #1 choice, and they made me feel that way. I was really prepared for the whole experience because my 2 older brothers, my brother Michael went to Notre Dame, and my brother Barry went to Michigan, and I was there for listened to and saw all of that, and see all these coaches come in our living room and the phone calls, and I know things have changed a lot in the recruiting recruiting world, but you know, so I was ready
for payoffs.
Well, that's coming to light now, but but no, that Xavier, because they made me a priority, made me feel like that I was the man, that they wanted to build a program with me at the kind of center of it. So
right,
that's why it was Xavier.
Was there something about playing at home too?
No, that really didn't have anything to do with it.
Okay.
In my mind, it was just a benefit.
Okay.
You know, I took my last visits to Purdue, Minnesota. I went to Notre Dame. I went to Michigan. I was going to play football and basketball at Notre Dame and Michigan.
Wow.
And Vanderbilt, Michigan State, and Minnesota, and Purdue. And I was just like done with the recruiting. I was like, I want to get it over with. So Xavier was the spot.
Now, why number 23?
We all know why 23. Back in the day, Michael Jordan.
Okay.
That's the guy I idolized. I grew up watching him on ESPN and Dick Vitale talking about him when he made his magical run for North Carolina.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I wanted to be like.
All right.
You know,
Just
be like Mike.
Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Now, what we want to
He's
do.
a big Maravich fan.
What we want to do is the first part of our show here. We have something called the stat game. Okay. And we want to incorporate you into the stat game. And we're going to incorporate some different things that are going on right now in pop culture within that, and also your story.
Okay.
Okay, so just follow along with us here. And Glenn, you want to lay it for him, the stat game?
It's just normally numbers, and we just go through the numbers, numbers that are relevant somehow. This is Alex's baby.
This is episode 38.
Okay, so everything's gonna be related to 38.
Yes,
Yeah.
and we're going to start with baseball. Okay. And obviously, you have a brother in Barry Larkin that's a Hall of Famer. And please tell the story that I heard you tell about your brother and when he was, I believe, told by a Reds scout that he needed to switch to second base.
Yeah, Barry is 15 months older than I am, so we were always really close. I mean, in my house, we grew up in Silverton. He and I we're kind of the same size for most of our childhood. We're the same size clothes. We slept in the same bed, took baths together, man. I remember when he got hair on his legs. You know, man, get away from me, dude.
Yeah.
Move your legs over. So we were always really, really close.
Uh-huh.
So he out of high school, he got drafted by the Reds, and didn't want to play professional baseball. Wanted to go to Michigan. 3 years at Michigan. Got drafted by the Reds again, this time in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Decided to go. First year with the Reds in their minor league system, one of the scouts came up to him and said, "Hey, Barry, look, you're not good enough to make it as a shortstop. We want you to change to second base." He says, your range isn't wide enough. Your arm strength is not. We don't feel that you're going to make it as a shortstop. We want you to change to second base. Will you be willing to do that? And he says, "No, I'm not willing to do that."
Right.
Because, my dream is to play shortstop, and I'm either going to make it or not make it as a shortstop. So it was just a big, fungulo to you.
Right.
I'm going to do this.
Right.
So he was even more resolute after that, and the next year they called him up, and he stayed for 19 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's great. It is, man. It was wild in the back. I mean, just in my household with all the stress, just the stress of, whether he wanted to. Every year, my household was stressed around recruiting time. Like my oldest brother Michael wanted to go to LSU because they said that they were going to buy him a car. My parents didn't want that. They wanted him to go to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So then Barry comes along.
Never get that car back.
Barry comes along, and it's a very stressful, he's drafted out of high school, and he's talking to my mom and dad, saying, "Hey, do you all need the money? I really don't want to go and play for the Reds. I want to go to college, but I'll do it if you all feel that we need this money. And my parents were like, no, you do what you got to do. So that was very, very stressful. And then with the move from them wanting him to move from shortstop to second base was very stressful in our household as well. So.
Yeah, and you've told me that he told you at a young age he was going to play for the Cincinnati Reds.
Oh yeah, that was the plan from when we could walk. I mean, we'd get in the station wagon and all three of us boys.
You a Dave Concepcion fan?
Yeah, absolutely he was. But that was the plan. I mean, like I was gonna play in the NBA. My brother Mike was gonna play NFL, and Bear's gonna play in the major league. We decided that from jump.
Right.
You know, we all played all three sports, but we all had our favorites.
Sure.
And that's all the ones that we played in college.
Who would have been the best at a different sport?
That'd be me.
Okay.
Probably football. I mean, I was recruited harder for football than I was for basketball. Actually,
What
I was
position?
a parade All-American. I was a safety.
Okay.
Actually, the Bengals wanted me to come and try out for them after I got out of Xavier.
Really?
My first year out of Xavier, I went to the CBA.
But you and David Fulcher.
David Fulcher, yeah, that was about the same time.
Man.
I got a call my first year out. I was in the CBA. I went overseas to play ball. I came back, and then I got a call from Jim Lippincott, who used to be my defensive coordinator when I was at Moeller.
Okay.
And I mean, I had a really good year my senior year in football at Moeller. I was a GCL Player of the Year in football. So he said, Byron, we've been talking, and we want you to come and try out for the Bengals. I'm like, oh, okay. So I went down. I ran the 40-yard dash for him. Dick LeBeau was the defensive backs coach.
Okay.
I went through some agility drills. I took a physical, and they says, go home. We're going to talk to Paul Brown and let you know if we want to make you an offer to come to camp. The next day, the phone rang. They said, we'll offer you $5,000 to come to camp, and the only thing is you can't quit. So you can't just walk away. You know, you have to wait till you get cut or make the team. So,
Okay.
But at the time, I had a tryout with the New Jersey Nets at the same time. I couldn't do both.
Okay.
So I just decided to go to the Nets.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was the Bengals story.
Well, your mental health is certainly appreciates that.
Absolutely, and my physical as well.
I tell you, yeah.
No doubt, no doubt.
You could have definitely chose to go to a school that wears blue. In Mays.
He's a big Michigan.
Oh, I know. Yeah, Barry was at Michigan when I went to go visit, and he loved it up there. And I had been there 20 times to go see him play his baseball games up there. Actually, he was on the team that he played up in Michigan. He played with Chris Sabo and Hal Morris. They were on his baseball team at Michigan. Yeah.
Man.
That's crazy.
He told me, Sabo was absolutely nuts. I
can see that.
He told, no surprise.
I can see that.
He told me a story where Sabo was a senior, Bear was a freshman, and Sabo didn't speak to him the entire year.
Oh, wow.
It's during the game. Barry goes up to him and says, hey, they put Barry in the game to hit against this pitcher late in the game. He says, hey, Save, can you tell me what this pitcher's throwing? I'm getting ready to get up there. He's like, who cares? Just go hit the effing ball, rookie, freshman.
Oh, wow.
Barry's like, okay. Fast forward 5 years later. Barry's in the bigs. They call up Sabo. Sabo walks up to him, hey, Lark, can you tell me what this pitcher's throwing? Barry said, I should say, who gives a F? Just hit the effing ball, but I'm not going to do that because I'm not a jerk like some people.
Right.
So this is what you should do. So he's got tons of stories like that. Yeah. That was, I love Michigan. Mario, Michigan was great, man. The Cottage Inn was the best place to eat up there. So
you been there, Mark?
Mario's never been there.
You never been to the big house?
You ain't a Michigan fan.
He's all talk.
Go. You gotta go.
All talk.
How was I ever gonna go?
You been to Chrysler Arena? Their basketball?
You ain't a Michigan fan,
I've
Mario.
never been any other. Actually, I take it. I've been to a Vanderbilt game. That's because Mike, you're over the Vanderbilt.
He's just a contrarian. He just going against the
He's a
grain.
casual fan, Mario, man.
Yeah.
You're casual, too. You gotta get up there.
Yeah, Chris
About
Sabo
5
died for our
hours.
sins.
Huh?
Said Chris Sabo died for our sins.
That's what they say.
Yeah, that's what I-71 said.
Yeah, I remember that. But so I want to take that and segue with obviously Barry going to the Hall of Fame with our stat game here with baseball. Our stat with number 38 is in the history of baseball, from the research our intern Will did here, there isn't a number 38 jersey retired.
But there's 1 through 37.
In MLB.
Okay.
And then 39 and on, but there's not a 38.
And there will not be because Kurt Schilling
Kurt
continues
Schilling.
to say outrageous SH.
He can't get the votes.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to do it. If he was a decent dude, he probably would. But he
keeps falling
wild.
short.
Yeah.
That makes a big difference, especially
Yeah.
with these sports writers.
No doubt.
If you're unlikable.
You can't
It's
suggest
gonna be
just
harder.
a former president who was born in Kenya.
Now, Glenn, just to test your baseball knowledge here,
Yeah.
number 39,
Okay.
jersey number 39 is retired.
Okay.
First name is Roy. He's a
Yep.
catcher.
Campanella.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dodgers. I know you get it.
Paralyzed in a car accident.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's right.
Super sad. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was in the off season when they were about to go to LA. So
Mhm.
he was always Brooklyn Dodger and never LA Dodger.
Yeah.
But like the Dodgers basically gave him a job and everything, and that he up to the end.
Alex, you told me about him. You told me he was like a walking sports encyclopedia.
Life encyclopedia.
As well.
Well,
Okay. All right. He's showing. That was impressive. I was
well, the
thinking
thing with
Roy
Campan-
Oberson. I don't know nothing about that. But anyway.
One of the crazy things about Campanella is they said that he got the call from the Dodgers to be the first black player,
Because
and
he was in the old Negro League, right?
yeah, and somebody reached out through him and said that like the Dodgers want and I think it was like a Negro League team called like the Black Dodgers or something, and he was
He thought it was.
yeah, and he was just like whatever and just kind of disregarded
Oh,
it.
wow.
And they said like, did they say the Black Dodgers? Because he was like half Italian, so he was kind of like a more acceptable choice for the time or whatever. Yeah, before. So he could have potentially been the first black player besides Jackie Robinson.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, speaking of the Dodgers, I love playoff baseball. Regular season baseball, I don't really
It's
get
no
into.
good.
I love playoff baseball for some reason.
Yeah,
I
because
really
it matters.
Do you watch it?
It
Do you
does.
watch a whole? When you sit down and watch a whole
I'll
game?
watch it. I really will. I'll watch as much as I can.
If they put it on regular channels, I would probably be down for it. But it's like you gotta find it.
Oh yeah,
You know
when
what I
it's
mean?
like
Yeah,
on,
sometimes a little harder.
Yeah.
Baseball?
Yeah.
The Yankees play on Fox.
Yeah. Maybe.
Sometimes it's on MLB Network.
Yeah, it's on
Sometimes it's
TBS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how about last night the walk-off home run? Did you guys see that?
Yeah. I saw the guy with the crazy beard.
Yeah, the ginger beard,
Yeah.
the orange beard. So last night, it was the 29th anniversary of the walk-off home run from
Kirk Gibson.
when it was that was versus the A's,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Akron.
Yep, and that was game one.
I think
Yeah,
so,
that was
yeah.
game one of the World Series. So it was the 29th anniversary of that. And then Justin Turner last night hits a walk-off home run last night. So they made a big deal of it. But did you know that the Turner kid that hit the home run, he was actually
He's Kirk Gibson's illegitimate child.
no.
Oh,
That would have been a good story. he was drafted by the Reds and signed
okay.
by the Reds.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
Great job by us.
right, exactly. Gibson's battling Parkinson's disease
Really?
right now.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I looked at a picture on Google Images. Didn't look too.
Oh, how old is that cat now? Is that early 60s?
Probably
maybe?
61.
Okay.
Not
Yeah.
old.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's
younger.
not old to me.
Now, Gibson is in the College Football Hall of Fame.
He played for Michigan State, right?
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about that?
What was he? Quarterback?
I don't know.
I think he was a
Yeah.
running back. I think he was
Was
number 23, I believe, as well. So I'm trying to think, was he either a running back or a safety or something? It was something, I think. He had the same number.
Yeah. Now, B, are you a big baseball guy?
Not as much as I used to.
Okay.
19 years and going to 30, 40 games just wore me out, dude.
I was going to ask that. What was that like?
Uh,
Did you have to follow every game?
I just did. It was weird. I still couldn't believe that he was in the major leagues because he was a good player.
Yeah.
But he was never like, oh my gosh, he's a can't miss prospect.
Okay.
You know, he'd make it the first. I remember his first year in the bigs. He like just barely hit 200. I'm like, B, just keep it over 200, and we'll try to get you another contract.
Yeah.
It was like a series of 1-year contracts, and
Okay.
next thing he gets a 3-year. Next thing he gets a 3-year. Next thing he gets a 5-year. You turn around now, he's got 19 years in the bigs, and like, where did it all go?
Yeah.
But it was, I know for a while, I remember when they first called him up, I was at study hall at Xavier. I came back, I was getting running into my room. Someone stopped me and said, hey, the Reds just called up your brother. I just broke out in a sweat. I just got really nervous, like, oh my God. I was just like, uh-oh. So for the first 2 years, every time they hit him with a ball, I kind of like held my breath, like, just don't let it go through your legs. Just don't let it go through your legs.
You were that nervous?
Yeah, you kind of live, you live and die with him, like,
And
again.
Baseball's too long of a season.
That's stressful.
That'll wear you out, man. That'll wear you out.
Man.
So it was, for a while, then you got used to it. Then you're like, you see promos on ESPN, and they're like, Barry Larkin and the Reds. And I'm just like, huh? It's like, it was surreal.
Yeah.
It was, I mean,
But for a while, he was had probably the highest trade value in baseball because, the shortstop position is like the most valued, you know what I'm saying, defensively. So like maybe around 94, if you just ranked everybody in the league, like Barry Larkin would have been number one.
well, he was the first shortstop to hit 30 home runs and steal
Yeah.
30 bases. He was the first. It was Ozzie Smith before him.
Yeah.
And Ozzie just was all
strictly
D
defense.
and
yeah.
Well, Barry was the first one to come back that could play D and hit the ball with some power. So, but it was surreal. It was wonderful. It was.
And I always assumed he was older than you because, you were older than him because I was familiar with you, in the 80s, because of Xavier. Xavier's on TV. That was back when, I didn't have cable. So, like,
19.
Yeah, like, 19 had that was a treat. Like, I saw, like, dog, I saw every one of your games. Like, it's like probably 85% of Xavier games I witnessed. So it's just like, man.
Yeah, but it was wonderful, Alex. It was for my family, my mom, my dad used to go to every game.
Yeah.
Every game. So, and I didn't go to. I remember one year opening day, it was so crowded. We didn't have a parking pass. After this year, Barry got his parking passes, but it was so crowded. I dropped my parents off. I was like, look, I just can't find a place to park. I'll just come back and get you after the game. My intention was to go to the game, but it was so crowded. I'm like, look, man,
That's crazy.
I'll be back in 5 hours. Okay, so then I picked him up. So Barry's like, look, I got you. So it was it was surreal.
You had to protest to get that pass.
Well, let me ask you this: being in a sports family, and I deal with this with my AU program, where you have brothers, and one brother. I know a particular situation where one of the brothers went on and played major Division I football, and the other went to play Division III basketball. And the one brother always would hear about his older brother, and he developed a man, quit talking about I don't want to talk about my brother. He just got sick of hearing it. Did you ever get sick of hearing about your brother, or people always asking you, and you're like, I play ball. I'm a pretty good. You know what I mean? Did that ever happen to you?
Not for 1 nanosecond.
Okay.
Never. Because I always felt that I got as much attention. I didn't feel like everyone always wanted to talk about him. I was just super proud of him. I love talking about him.
Yeah.
As well as my older brother, my younger brother. My brother Michael played football at Notre Dame. My youngest brother played baseball at Texas.
Mm-hmm.
We all got scholarships, so I was, super proud of my sister who got an academic scholarship at UC, who's a doctor now. So I'm proud of all my brothers and my sister.
Sure.
And I never felt that for 1 second. I don't know why. Maybe because I got all the love I thought that I kind of deserved.
Sure.
So
absolutely.
I never felt that. at all. Now, it's weird when I hear people talk about that.
You've heard that. You've heard that.
I've heard it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. People say, "Aren't you?" They ask me a lot of time, "Aren't you tired of talking about your?" I'm like, "No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all."
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it's good.
That's real good. Let's move
I
on.
refuse to mention talk about my sister.
Think of all our accolades, hearing about it. Let's move on to the NFL. A lot going on in the NFL, but within a stat game here, number 38, we're going to talk about Super Bowl 38, which I'm sure you guys remember from 2004. Tom Brady was the MVP that year.
Okay.
Patriots versus the Panthers.
Okay.
Patriots won.
But more importantly, the halftime show.
That's right.
Oh, that was
That's
the,
it.
Oh, wow.
Janet Jackson.
That was the Janet Jackson
It's like,
Nipplegate.
Yeah.
Nipplegate. Yep. Beyonce did the national anthem. Is that correct, Will?
That is correct.
Okay. Now Timberlake is rumored.
To be done this year, next year. So,
Jay-Z changed it,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Yep. I heard about that. So I know we were talking earlier. I want to jump before I forget about this. Fantasy football. And we talk about a great quarterback of the 38th Super Bowl. Tom Brady was the MVP, but another great quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, goes down last night, out for the season, right?
yeah.
Yeah, broken collarbone. Yeah.
That's your fantasy
That was
league.
my guy. I was leading my fantasy league. I played in the same league with same guys for about 12 years. I've never won. Never. Well, you would think the laws of averages, like, all right,
Yeah.
like, right, Glenn, like,
Yeah,
come
catch
on,
up.
man.
Yeah.
I feel your pain.
This year, yeah, man. This year, I was like, oh, I was well, I only lost one game. I was like 4-1 or whatever. He goes down, my phone blows up. I'm like, yeah, baby, yeah. How you like me now? Like,
Yeah, right,
what? So,
right.
yeah, so I'm toast again. But yeah, I was upset about that. But
Yeah.
I got some good running backs. Hopefully we can. I got to pick up some quarterbacks.
Who's your backup quarterback?
My backup quarterback was Hoyer from San Francisco, who got benched during the game. So I'm starting from scratch, man. So Mario, you got any suggestions? I'm open to it. You know, so,
Just go out, see who's on the waiver wire.
yeah.
Go matchup for matchup every week.
Yeah.
Oh, now, Glenn, what do you think that does to the NFL season with Rodgers being out? I mean,
The NFC looks wide open.
uh-huh.
Like I don't even. I mean, who's the favorite at this point? Like I don't really. Yeah, I guess Atlanta is. I mean, I guess some people still think last year was kind of fool's gold, but I mean, I guess Atlanta and Seattle.
There you go.
Mario's a big believer. His Eagles been I can't deny Wentz look good. Wentz moves the
He did
chains.
look
Now, Mario loves the Eagles. So we've established this. He loves Michigan, loves the Eagles.
Mario's
Just
like
wait till we get to the NBA. Go
it
ahead.
seems
okay.
as though Mario basically had as a child had the three, like the sports leagues in front of him. He just start rolling dice. And it has no regional. It's not even like
There's no tie to it.
Yeah, some
It's
people like
just really random, huh?
Yeah.
like certain colors or
What's
whatever.
So what is it?
What's your
Mario?
tie?
My tie to the Eagles is I was a huge Donovan McNabb fan. His
Okay.
last year at Syracuse. So
Okay.
every team that he got drafted to,
Okay.
that was the team I was rolling with.
Okay.
Okay.
And thank God the Cleveland Browns went Tim Couch because.
But
I
you've
was
never
a
had
Browns fan.
but you've never had other players in college that you liked.
Yeah, but I never was a big enough. This was my thing. McNabb was there for so long. I couldn't just say, all right, now McNabb is gone.
Uh-huh.
I got to find a new team, so I just had to stay with that team.
Okay. Are you a
Loyalty right there, man.
Bengals fan, Mario?
I'm not a Bengals fan. I would like to see them just because growing up I saw them lose so often,
Okay.
and it was sad and pathetic. But I'm not a Bengals fan. Like if anything came down to it, I'm diehard Eagles.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, your boy Charles Woodson is wearing an ascot right now. I'm seeing it on the screen, so there's a
Oh,
Michigan.
Monday Night
Shout out
Football
to
era.
Michigan.
How about Randy Moss, man? He got his act together real quick.
Oh, yeah.
He did. He's
Yeah.
like, yo,
he
you gonna
did.
pay me? Okay.
Yeah, I'm an
I'll
adult
straighten
now.
up all of a sudden, right? He's grown up.
Yes, he did. Now I want to get your opinion about what's going on in the NFL based on the protests, the kneeling, the reactions by fans, owners, Roger Goodell, the president of the United States. I know probably touch upon some touchy subjects with that, but what are your thoughts when you initially saw, when Cap did it, and then it's escalated to what it is now, and a lot of the division that's going on?
Well, I think most of the players were in protest of kind of what Donald Trump said more than anything. It's more reactionary to that.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's really unfortunate. Colin Kaepernick, I don't know if I think there's a more effective way to voice his displeasure, and I'm so glad we're having the conversation because it needs to be there.
Right.
Social injustice, police altercations with the police and shooting unarmed black young men is something that's just awful. But what I wish Colin Kaepernick would do is, in addition to what he's done already to start the conversation, is try to help the problem. And the problem is the interactions, mainly with the police officers. You do a public service announcement. Go to the elementary schools and say, hey, if you get stopped by the cops, this is what you do, this is what you don't do.
Mm-hmm.
Those kind of things to start a dialogue. I think the more conversation, I think the better. Relationships have been strained for a long time in this country.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll ever be perfect. I think there's always going to be, there are bad people in every walks of life. They're bad cops, they're bad, they're just a reflection of our society. Mm-hmm. And I think that that there needs to be more dialogue to get better, to learn from this and try to improve it. And I don't know where it's going to end, but it's good that we're having a conversation. Colin Kaepernick, I understand today, filed a suit with the NFL, saying that there was collusion against him,
Right.
Them
By the owners.
theoretically keeping him out of the NFL, which, this is that's going to be tough, I believe, to prove that, because it's just, judging talent is such a subjective thing.
Yeah, you can never say.
Us three can look at the same guy and say, oh, I think he's good. You're like, well, I don't think he's good enough. So
right.
That's going to be hard to prove. But, I would think that would be an expected response from the owners because of the public backlash of what has happened with them feeling disrespected when people are not standing at attention during the anthem. And that's kind of how I feel about the whole thing.
Do you think that with the owners' meeting being 2 days away and that lawsuit coming about, you think it was strategic?
I haven't heard that angle yet, but I don't know. I would have waited till the season was over because...
Just to see if he made a team? Or?
Yes, because I feel like the more people get injured, the more you're not picked up, the more glaring examples of
right.
weaker players being picked ahead of you bolsters your case if that's what you intend to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So even this week, okay, well, obviously, because Aaron Rodgers got injured, then, the next guy steps up. But even still, that creates somebody, a rung down or another rung down if you're carrying three quarterbacks. So now the Packers have to put now the backups need a backup quarterback.
Sure.
So
right.
Is that backup quarterback that they pull off the streets, is he better than Colin Kaepernick?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
right.
it'll be somebody get injured next week and week after that. And the more that goes on, the more it kind of bolsters your case for being blackballed.
And I agree with you 100%. That's what I would think he would do. And that's what made me think, why would he do that now? Is it something behind the owners' meeting that's going down? I thought it was just odd timing for...
He hasn't been perfect.
No,
that's the problem, though.
But do you have to be... I don't think he has to.
You don't have to be perfect.
What do you mean, in his play or how he's handled the situation?
Just how he's handled the situation as far as if I was advising him on things,
Sure.
it would be like certain things with timing and
Yeah.
and like when his girlfriend tweeted the stuff, because even though he's justified in a lot of stuff, is that you don't want to give a reason why not at this point. And he's done that a couple of times, and you're just like, come on, man, you can't.
I agree.
You can't give somebody a reason, even if it's a BS reason. It's still a reason that someone can pick and say, okay, this is why we didn't do it.
Sure.
And I think if Roger Goodell would have legislated, standing at attention. They have rules in the NFL, man. You have to wear a certain color. You can't stand on the sidelines without wearing like NFL sanctions deal. So a lot of this could have been squashed if they would have just had the balls to say, hey, man.
Yeah, the rule's the rule.
The rule is the rule. This is our league, and
which the NBA has, correct?
They do have that.
Okay.
But now, you see, when it's affecting revenue, I see that's going to get the owner's attention real quick. I have DirecTV, and if I don't have the NFL package, but if I did, everybody who subscribes to that, DirecTV's getting their money back.
Yeah.
So that's affecting revenue.
Sure.
Just think about the ramifications of that, revenue. So that's why I think we're getting a lot of the owners are they're gonna institute something really quick. I think just because it's affecting them, and it's you're seeing burning jerseys. Some bars are refusing to show games. At one point the NFL was the most popular professional sport in this country. I don't know if it is anymore. So, but Colin Kaepernick has started, has given this thing a lot of attention, has brought to light a lot of attention, a lot of things that should have been brought, and now we'll see what's going to happen moving forward.
Isn't that amazing though? What sports have just over the years. I mean, you look at I'll use Jim Brown, the Olympics, Muhammad Ali. I mean, it's just like. They've been so important, to a movement. Yeah. And years from now, how do you think we'll look at Colin Kaepernick when it's 10, 15 years from now? I mean, like when Rosa Parks did what she did people at that moment know? I mean, I don't.
It wasn't popular.
Exactly.
They realize it.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's so weird is that people who are like look back and basically everybody who is forward thinking is in the present, commended for it, but they weren't commended for it at the time when they did it. So like, Muhammad Ali died as a national hero, but Muhammad Ali was despised as much as or more as Colin Kaepernick is right now.
For most of his life.
Yeah, and people, after around 20, 30 years go by and it's like, oh, like people are like, why can't you be more like Muhammad Ali? And it's like, you hate Muhammad Ali.
Absolutely.
And I mean, and it's an age thing too. Like everybody who say 35 and under will look at it when they're like 70 years old, like, yeah, Colin Kaepernick, stood up. But everybody, who hated Muhammad Ali was dead by the time Muhammad Ali was on stamps and everything. So.
Right. So what do you think? I want to get your opinion, B. Where do you think we need to go from here? So a lot of this, I love that, like you said, I love the conversation was started. I actually loved when a lot of people were uncomfortable because that created real dialogue. And Glenn can tell you this. Glenn and I are friends on Facebook, and I'll post something halfway political, and people I've known for 30 years, I'll hear them say stuff, and I'm like, really? You really think like it? But that.
Black Lives Matter is a terrorist group.
Yeah, some of the stuff is. Am I right? It's just. It's crazy. But I've known them for 30 years, but I've never. Yeah. I never knew this about them, but the conversation that happens is like real. Now you can really learn about people,
Yeah.
and see what we need to. What do we need to do moving forward? Like, what's the next step?
Well, I mean, it all starts with the conversation, and then the next step is action, trying to improve relations, trying to get your arms around. The more you talk about it, the more you kind of realize the problem. And I think identifying the problem, the solution's there in that process. When you really look at a problem and you look at it from all angles, a lot of times the solution is not far from there. It's almost more difficult to identify all aspects of the issue. So I think, hopefully the next step will be actions. We'll have better communication with both sides. I mean, that's all you can hope for, and I think that's what's going to happen next. I don't know what you guys think.
Glenn?
I mean, I think that's the direction we're heading in. I mean, I kind of wish it would die down now as far as the anthem thing, because it kind of feels like you every time you do something, you get less return on the investment, and it's like at a certain point you gotta be like, okay, well, the issue has been kind of co-opted that people want to make it seem like, okay, it's anti-patriotic, and it's just like, okay, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But let's move off. I don't like seeing every week like, here are the players that demonstrated. You're just like, okay, we're gonna be doing this like 5 years from now. Like, okay, here are the 6 players.
Right.
Like,
When's it gonna?
Yeah, because it kind of feels like it started off and then it like hit a crescendo, and now it's gonna die back down, and it's kind of like, whatever. So.
Well, the one thing that I see is the owners, Roger Goodell, they've been hitting the pockets, okay? And I think once that's happened, I think they know there's a problem. But now it's like, we better get involved with helping solve this problem.
Yeah.
And I like that. And I think hopefully now the NFL players can, and I'm talking about the majority of the NFL players, not just the black players. The white players have to say, we got your back. Let's all get together. Let's create some initiatives. Let's go. A lot of these owners are donating to Donald Trump's campaign.
Yeah.
So you can get to Donald Trump with not only, let's say, 5 black players, a couple white players, and owners are going to help figure things out. They've got money.
Yeah.
I think they got a little bit more power. I think that's...
Well, the problem with the NFL has always been they're so hard on the players on a labor front that it's such a divide between. I don't think the players make moves feeling like I've got the owner's interest in mind as well, and that's the difference with the NBA. The NBA, they feel like it's a legit collective.
Absolutely.
Like LeBron or someone who's conscious would be like, look, I get it. I would just assume kneel as well, but I know how this looks and the optics of this, and that affects the league, and that affects like it's almost like if the players are part owners in the NFL, and I mean the NBA in a way that they're not in the NFL, and the NFL cast like, look, I'm just here for my contract. You know what I'm saying? I'm just here for the check, and if y'all mad at me, whatever. Yeah, and that's kind of that's not the atmosphere to promote, collective good deeds and just.
Sure. Well, let's jump into basketball here. A lot of people's favorite sport here in this room. So, keeping in theme with number 38, Michael Jordan scored 38 points on June 11th, 1997 versus the Utah Jazz. That game is better known as what, Mario? Absolutely right. In which he wore the Jordan 12. That's right.
The Jordan 38.
B, he brought up this before. You rocking the ponies. I want to talk about you. We'll get back to number 38. Let's talk about your shoe game back in the day.
We got to get you a deal with Pony, man, because I was on the website before we came in, and I'm just saying, man.
Is Pony still even around?
Pony is around. Briefly, yeah.
Well, this is what happened. My first year, well, of course, being a college player, you have no control over what whether you're wearing Nike, Pro Kids, Pro Wings, or whatever, it is all the discretion of the head coach.
Yeah.
So my freshman year, that's one of the reasons why I really like Xavier too. They wore Nikes. Man, I had some Air Force Ones. I had about 7 pair, man. Every other day in practice, I'm like, I need another pair. I need another pair.
Yeah.
Gear is a big reason why guys go to school.
Absolutely.
You know it is a
do.
big thing.
I do.
You know, of all people, Alex know that. So
It's the only reason.
in some cases. But you get hooked up when you're in college, boy. No
Absolutely.
doubt about that. You play
Absolutely.
college basketball. But
Who's going to Oregon for any other reason?
that's right. So my first year we wore Nikes.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh yeah, this is good, this is great. But by the end of the year, I was like, man, I got so many Nike, I want something else. So after Nike, our coach, Bob Stack, was our head coach.
Oh yeah.
And then he left, Pete Gillen came in.
B-Stacks.
Pete Gillen came in, we were Nike, I think the second year.
Uh-huh.
And then I had enough. I was like, man, I'm ready. I didn't say anything, but I'm like, man, I'm ready to get something else. Then we got ponies, man. The first month I was like, oh my gosh, where are the Nikes at? So my last 2 years we wore ponies. I had no control of them. All I could do was keep them clean and try to stay fresh, man. You know, that was it.
Do you have any of those ponies still?
No.
That's a shame.
Ponies,
If
bro.
you had,
No ponies.
I would say if you had a pair, I'd
You had some autographed ponies? No,
Oh, man.
Nah, man, no
Man.
ponies, bro.
That's
Nah,
a
I got
crime.
none. As soon as I was out of there, man, I'm like, no, I don't want anybody to see me in there.
Well, through the power of Photoshop, you will have a pair of autographed ponies by the end of tomorrow.
Actually, I have a bobblehead. My bobblehead got me sporting the ponies.
Okay.
Now, didn't they did that recently, right?
Yeah, that was last year.
Okay, yeah.
Last year.
I thought so.
They actually have another one coming out this year with me and Joe Sunderman, the guy I've been doing the radio with for the last 20 years. Joe's been doing games for 39 years.
Isn't he in like a Hall of Fame for something?
Yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I thought so.
Yeah. Joe's a great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is.
He's the best.
That's crazy. So let me ask you this. What's your favorite shoe of all time?
Air Force Ones, man.
That's
With
it.
the strap. Air Force
With
Ones.
the
Well,
With
yeah.
the strap, with the blue strap. They were sweet. Oh yeah, high top.
Did-
Oh yeah.
Did you have to strap around or did you let it hang?
No. I strapped around.
Okay.
Man. I strapped around.
Okay.
I wasn't
You in that
styling, man. I was,
You
know.
see, they dropped the All NBA pair today. Every team has their own Air Force One.
Really?
Yeah, with the back tab with the logo on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's a Sacramento Kings fan.
You'll be the
Wow.
only one.
What's your connection, Mario?
None.
Donovan McNabb at a Kings game.
I mean, I like the team. I mean, they have Jay Will, Chris Webber, Paige Stoyakovich.
Yeah, we know the lineup.
They got Vlade Divac.
But no one picks a team because of Vlade Divac is on it.
Put the icing on the cake. They got Mike Bibby, and I was a huge Wildcats fan.
Okay.
So when Bibby came, I was like, yo, I'm all in. So I mean, they were supposed to beat the Lakers in 2002, but
Yeah, but that was Rob. That was the all-time referee job ever. Like I'll always grace you that, Mario.
Boy, oh boy. Yes. Yeah. But you know,
They'll be 38 games behind the Warriors this year.
There's nobody beating them off with the Warriors. No one's beating the Warriors.
Dude, we're gonna get in
Okay.
there. We're gonna get into
Alright.
some predictions here because Glenn wants to get our predictions for the NBA, and I've got some stuff on deck. Let me ask you this quickly about you coming from one of the greatest sports families, and we're now looking at something I don't think we've really ever seen before, and that's the Ball family, and what they're doing. Now, your father and your mother as well. Their approach with you all as a family. What do you think when you think about your mother and father's approach with raising you all versus LeVar Ball and what he's doing?
Exactly the same.
That's about 180 degrees. You obviously never met my parents. My dad was
No TV show?
my dad was from Meridian, Mississippi.
Oh, wow.
My mom is from Houston, Texas.
Okay.
They met at Xavier University in Louisiana.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
See,
Man.
now that's something we should have.
Yeah.
We should research that. Come on, Will.
I couldn't find that one.
Will.
Man. So
They
double
met-
double Xavier.
Yeah, that's right. They met at Xavier. Then my dad got a job as a chemist with the federal government. That's why we came
wow.
here.
Okay.
Yes. So I used to always ask my dad, like, you're from Meridian, Mississippi. I've been there many times growing up, see my grandma and everything. And boy, everybody's got a thick accent.
Uh-huh.
I always used to say, Dad, why don't you have an accent? Because my dad is as proper sounding as you can be. You know, he says.
Is that where James Winston from?
Is that where James? I don't know where.
Somebody
James
is from Meridian, Mississippi.
I think James is.
Oh, okay.
No, he's from Bessemer, Alabama.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But somebody is from.
Somebody is. I've heard of
I know
Meridian.
Derek McKee, who played in the NBA.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
He's from Meridian, Mississippi.
Okay.
But there was a defensive back too. But anyway, he used to say, I personally don't have an accent because I don't want to sound ignorant.
Okay.
So my
Right.
dad was very a stern disciplinarian.
Uh-huh.
I mean, he'd call your name. It wasn't like, yeah. It'd be like, yes. I mean, he was strict disciplinarian,
Yeah.
big time. So he, so that was the household I grew up in. I never talked back to anyone because I was afraid. My dad ruled with fear, and I'm so glad he did, because when I went to school and it was time, I was told to sit down and shut up. I sat down and shut up because that's the way I was raised.
Right.
My parents were just like, hey, if you're gonna play sports, you're just gonna do three things. You're gonna show up, you're not gonna quit, and you're gonna behave. The rest is up to you. You want to be the best player, that's fine. You want the worst player, that's fine. But those are the three things. So a lot different than and act like you've been behaving. That's the one. Act like you've been there.
Uh-huh.
I remember Barry one time got thrown out of a baseball game, and I was like, oh boy, you're gonna get it when you get home.
Uh-huh.
So, but LeVar Ball's different. It's a different time.
Yeah.
I think parents now are they're friends of their their
Yeah.
children almost.
Mhm.
It's the old school, man. It's different. My parents from the old school. It's different now, but LeVar Ball is just kind of like a loudmouth who got an agenda for his children, and I know Lorenzo can ball. I know that.
Lonzo?
Lonzo.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Love
you
his
play.
game.
Absolutely.
So, and he seems to be, when I hear him talk, he seems to be like having it together. He doesn't seem
yeah.
as crazy as his dad. So,
Yeah.
His
LeVar
dad's
must
his
be
hype
doing
man.
right.
I got a question though. Do you think that he's putting too much pressure on like the other kids though? I mean, 'cause obviously Lonzo was a great talent. You know what I mean? But then the other two are still kind of like they were prospects, but they're still kind of the unknown.
Yeah, I think it's yet to be seen. Lonzo obviously had a great career at UCLA. I don't know. You've probably seen the other ones in the AAU circuit, Alex. I don't know.
I've seen Melo more. Like Jello's kind of like. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know much about him.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be weird.
His name's your son Jello, man.
Well,
Leangelo.
Leangelo called him Jello.
Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I don't know much about him. I mean, but yeah, I think it's yet to be seen. I mean, I don't know what kind of players they are. I mean, I've seen a YouTube clip of the young one who shoots the ball. I understand he shoots the ball every time he touches it.
Yeah.
Against Zion Williams.
Yeah.
I'm going at it. So he's got some skill. I don't know if he can harness it in college. You ain't gonna be able to shoot the ball every time.
That's what you think.
Most good. No, that's what's gonna happen. Well, if you go to a good school, that ain't gonna be the case, bro. You have to play defense first and earn your. And I don't know if he has the discipline to last.
Yeah.
Because when you get to college, it's about D first, and you got to earn your way onto the floor. And I don't know what his mentality is, but if he's anything like his dad, my guess that's going to be a challenge for him.
Do you agree with what he did with LaMelo as far as taking him out of school?
Yeah, I don't know the circumstances around that. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, when it comes to local sports families, who wins in the dance-off between the Larkins and the Griffeys?
And a dance off.
In a dance-off.
Dance off.
Yeah, between the two predominant sports families, dance battle.
I don't know. Barry always had all the girls. Barry had all the moves.
He had it.
He could tumble like when we were growing up.
Yeah,
It was
Man,
about
tumbling is a
He
real
could
thing.
tumble. I mean, yeah, round off backhand, swing backhand,
Sure.
swing back. No,
With
he
the
can do all that. We go to the dive. We go up to
Tumbling is a
swimming.
black sport.
Absolutely.
That's a national.
Yeah, we go swimming off the diving board.
Oh.
Barry can do
Oh,
anything.
yeah, no doubt.
Gainers, 1.5,
Yep.
anything. So.
Yep.
He was a special dude. So.
We need to have the Black Olympics.
Tumbling.
And the Larkins.
When's the last time you even talked about tumbling?
We used to take the whole mat, like, if
The
you
dirty
put
mattress.
out,
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
y'all
and that's right.
Look,
Get busy.
Will's like, what are y'all talking about?
Put on your ponies and go tumbling.
Oh yeah.
Nah, dude, you ain't tumbling in any shoes, bro.
No.
You gotta go barefoot or in your socks, man.
Oh man.
Big time.
That's funny. Will, do you have any clue?
You know what tumbling is?
I'm trying to put it together. I'm trying to picture it. I
It's
can't.
gymnastics, bro.
Urban
Backyard
gymnastics.
urban gymnastics. That's all. You know, see, that's what we did.
And, I think one thing is with LeVar Ball, it's a different generation of basketball players, and I think the system, and I think what LeVar did with LaMelo wasn't necessarily a result of Chino Hills, the school he was going to, and that coach. Yeah, they probably didn't get along with the coach, whatever. But I think that was somewhat an excuse for, I think, what's going to happen a lot more, and that's kids being, I'm doing air quotes here, homeschooled and training and doing, AAU and using that. And then some of them not even going to college. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even think LaMelo's going to end up in college. Like, I know he's set for UCLA,
Yeah.
but there's a chance that he'll go overseas and play and then make his way to the NBA. That's going to be something. I've said this before on our podcast, I was talking to Ron Harper in Orlando. I was watching Ron Harper's son, who can flat out play. I believe he's going to sign with Arkansas.
Okay.
And Ron told me, he goes, if I know what I know now 5 years ago, my son would go overseas and not go to college.
Okay.
That's exactly what Ron said.
What,
So
the fundamentals are better, or just he just want to just eliminate the whole process?
I think a part of that, but learning the game overseas, and well, you can get paid.
Yeah, no doubt.
And then being able to transition right to the NBA. That's what he was saying. So I think you're going to start seeing that more and more. I think LaMelo's going to be one of those kids that could do that. So I don't know. I think LeVar Ball is wild, but I think there's a method to his madness. And I think, I love his, I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch the reality show, Ball and the Family. I mean, I enjoy watching that. B, you're looking at me like, nah, I ain't watching that.
Only so many hours in the day.
I know, man. Sorry.
They're only like 17 minutes episodes.
No commercials.
No commercials. Have you seen it yet, Glenn?
No, I keep saying I'm gonna go through it, but
It's
I should have watched it
enjoyable.
when I had the hiccups.
He's like the Kardashians to me, man.
That's exactly what it is.
I can't, man. I can't give him.
Well, one thing is,
my attention.
I don't understand at this point. Like, you got one kid in the NBA with the number 2 pick, so you've won. Like you've guaranteed wealth. So I don't understand what the additional hype benefits you to this point. You know what I mean? Like there's a point when you're unknown, you want to get known, that every time you get another viewer, that means something.
Right.
But like at a
It's called
certain
narcissism, man.
yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
at now it's kind of like it's just kind of like I was saying before. It's like the law of diminishing return. Like, okay, now people are just gonna dislike your son when they wouldn't have cared before. You know what I'm saying?
Especially when you start getting balled on by De'Aaron Fox.
Easy.
Stop it.
Which he's been dodging.
Who got drafted first?
It don't matter.
Well, it does matter because you get more money. Well,
We'll see.
I'll tell you who hasn't been the better player. Those that get drafted by the Kings the past 15 years. Past 15.
Well,
Don't-
DeMarcus Cousins definitely
Don't
got drafted by
don't
the
get
Kings.
him fired.
Yeah, and
DeMarcus is an animal.
yeah, no doubt. But do you think his game has been assisted by playing with the Kings?
DeMarcus will ball anywhere he plays.
All right, we've talked about the Kings way too much. So, the NBA starts tomorrow.
Or tonight if you're listening to the podcast.
That's true. So let's talk about some predictions. Okay, for the NBA. Now, B, you've already thrown out the finals. So you're saying the Warriors are going to win?
Yes.
Correct.
Yep.
Are they playing the Cavs?
I don't know. Probably. I don't know what kind of chemistry. I don't know if the Cavs are better this year than they were last year. Even though they added Dwayne Wade and the little guard.
IT.
It seemed like watching the finals last year was just definitely, it was a different like ball movement. Golden State, which has like 4 of the best players in the league, which is one of the reasons why they're going to win.
Yeah.
The 4 of the best 10 players in the league are in Golden State. I don't care what anybody says. But the way they played together, the ball pops. You coach, the ball pops around. You never know who's going to score.
Right.
When Cleveland got the ball, it was different. They would get on the break, slow down, and throw it back to LeBron so he could bring it up. I just didn't like their chemistry, the way they played together, played off of each other. It was too predictable. I'm like, all right, LeBron's going to shoot this time. All right, Kyrie's going to shoot this time. It wasn't great ball movement like Golden State. So I don't know if that's going to improve with IT and Dwayne Wade this year.
Did you see the quote from Kyrie when they asked him what's the difference between the Celtics and the Cavs? His response was ball movement. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
That's exactly what he said.
He was referring to LeVar Ball.
What's
I read something that said that Cleveland and Golden State, through the 5 games they played, were essentially a draw when LeBron was on the court. But when he got whenever he go to the bench, that basically accounted for the margin of victory. And if they could, if IT or Wade or Rose or somehow they can account for the time in which LeBron's not out there,
right,
then that can make up for the difference.
Rose is not going to make a difference at all. He's just like Darren Williams last year. I thought he was insignificant.
Wow.
He was a baller back in the day.
Oh yeah, no
but
doubt.
He's old now, and my guess is Rose is going to break down again like he has every year.
Yeah.
I wouldn't play Derrick Rose until the end of March.
Yeah, no. Just put him in the freezer, man, and just thaw him out around February. Like, all right, man, get it cracking. Let's go.
Him, Wade, and IT, y'all coming in at March 3rd.
No, but let me tell you why Golden State is so good.
Okay.
They change the way you have to play defense.
Okay.
The way we grew up playing defense on the break. When you're getting back, what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to protect?
Defend the basket.
Right.
Defend the basket.
Right.
You do that against Golden State, you are dead. Yeah. How many times did we see? I saw last year in the finals, because Curry with the ball dribbling on a break, Christian Thompson and other players. There's no one between them and the basket. Sprint out at him.
Yeah.
He just kind of look at him and just go in for a layup because he was so afraid of getting sprayed from 3.
Yeah.
That Golden State, like, you can't play regular defense against them because their 3-point shooting is so deadly and they're unselfish. It just changes the way you play. You're not used to that. Like, these are not basketball principles when you're playing against Golden State. And as long as they got those guys,
35-footer.
Yeah, like,
like
what are you gonna do? I mean,
totally
LeBron,
opposite of what we learned growing up.
Absolutely, and I thought Cleveland LeBron was worn out. Like he's got a guard. The tarantula, man, like a 7-footer with a handle and a J. Anytime he wanted to get the shot off, he could. LeBron's in his face, he just rises up over him. He's got Inspector Gadget-like arms. He could shoot. He could put it on the deck. It's just too much. It's just too much offense, man. And not to mention Klay Thompson, who what did he score 40 in a quarter at one point? Like these are unbelievable shooters that I don't think there's no answer.
They shouldn't
for
be able
them.
to afford that team.
So,
There's no answer.
well, Clay Thompson, he took a pay cut.
Well, so
didn't
they
he?
all did.
Yeah.
Durant took a pay cut.
Yeah.
That's
Clay was the last
it's
one.
unfair.
So you're saying Warriors take it all?
Warriors, no doubt.
Okay, Glenn, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I'm trying to figure out what are the other teams that can possibly prevent a four-peat for Warriors Cavs for the fourth time in a row, and I mean, who can prevent that? Can the Celtics be better than Cleveland? Can Houston or OKC
Or
the Spurs?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you think? I keep seeing people rank Houston above the Thunder as the number 2 challenger in the West. And I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't think so. It's going to be interesting to see if CP can bring everything together.
Yeah, well, they said that would be potentially the most efficient offensive team ever, just because of they're the purest distillation of only shoot threes or shots at the rim or get free throws.
Mm-hmm.
And what the offensive output of that, if CP buys in, you'll just strictly be, it's like the analytics dream of, of how you should play the ball, play offense for statistical reliance. So that's going to be fun to watch.
It's going to be fun to see what CP3 and Harden, James Harden, how they can coexist.
Yeah.
Because James, a lot of times, he played like the ball was in his hand almost the entire possession.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And now CP3, he's going to have to play off the ball with CP3 in the lineup. And I don't know, is Dwight Howard still on their team, or has he been discharged? Anyway, no one wants to play with him.
No.
You ever notice that? Everywhere he goes, they're like, "Don't come back, bro.
Everyone knows.
Don't come back. Don't come back."
Everywhere.
There's.
He's on the Hornets now, right?
Yeah, well, he was in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And they didn't want.
No one wants.
I want to read that article. It was a cover
About
story
Atlanta?
it's a cover story on Sports Illustrated a couple of weeks talking about what went wrong with Dwight Howard. 'Cause, I mean, I just hate that guy. I mean, I don't know him, but it just seems like he's one of the few people who is easy to dislike.
That's right.
Well, he seems
absolutely.
To me, he seems fake.
Yeah.
'Cause if you watched him years ago when he was in the slam dunk competition, you put on the cape, it was like you loved him. He had this great smile. He had this great build. He was young.
Yeah.
And then after a while, you started realizing
Just wanted to punch him.
That's all I know him for. And
Really.
I like him for that, but I don't. I don't know anything after that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's just lazy.
Yeah, definitely.
He's just relies on his size and girth and
Yeah.
but no effort
Yeah, he just seemed
whatsoever.
phony. And then when he came to the league, he was like super like Christian and stuff. And he once said he wanted he thought the NBA logo should be a cross, which made literally no sense. And then he has like 7 kids by 7 different women. It's just like
good for him.
Yeah. Well, the one chick was on the the original Basketball Wives, which I know Alex DVRs weekly.
Please say it ain't so, Alex.
It ain't so. I do watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Good for you.
Which it's we're in season 14, by the way.
14, wow.
Will, is that right? Season 14?
That's correct.
Kanye.
I don't watch
What's
it.
Kanye doing, man?
Oh,
Ain't seen overweight Kanye?
You don't marry. That's
Well,
a subject for another time.
I've got some notes down to talk
Okay,
about
go
the Kardashians in a little bit. But so let's talk about Player of the Year, MVP. Okay, I want to get your pick this year.
MVP. Probably Curry.
You're gonna give it to Curry.
I'll give it to Curry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Glenn.
I think Harden's just about due.
Okay.
Yeah. If they're second in the West, the Warriors split the vote too much. I think CP is old enough he won't steal votes, and I don't think LeBron wants to go a full season that hard. And obviously Westbrook isn't gonna get triple double again with that stage madness that was the last year's season.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Leonard. Spurs.
Okay.
Is he healthy?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Not yet.
Okay.
But I still think he'll.
Yeah,
I think
great. I love him.
I think he's, and I think part of it too. I think the NBA needs a great season from him.
A superstar
well.
that doesn't speak.
Yeah, just somebody different. Like as odd as that sounds, just somebody just different.
Okay.
Now wait a minute, I'm not sure about all the roster changes now. Who is Oklahoma City?
Yeah.
Did they pick up, and do they have anybody other than Westbrook? Didn't they pick
Melo?
Yeah, they got Melo and
They do have Melo. And George. Where's Paul George at?
And yes, that's
Mario's favorite
Mario's
player.
boy, Paul George.
Mario.
Where will Paul George finish in the Where will Paul George finish in the MVP ratings this year? Have you made a strong MVP stance this year that we could possibly make more interesting with a burrito bet?
I don't know if I can, because I really want to lean towards either KD
Okay.
or Steph, but I think it'll be harder for them because they're on the same team. But I don't know. I think Giannis is coming this year.
Okay.
Giannis is coming.
Do you think the Warriors break the wins record this year?
I think they tied.
So you think they get 73 again?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I
B, let me preface this. So last NBA season,
I think
Mario.
Kawhi's gonna be up there though.
Okay, so you agree with me on that?
Yeah.
Okay. Mario and Glenn had a bet going. The loser had to buy the other a Corrido. You know Corrido's, the restaurant right here. Gift card. Was it $25?
It's $25 and counting.
That's true. He's got there's a whole. He's got a hustle going on. He's got some side hustle going on. So
They keep granting me. It's not my fault that the Corrido's
He won the
computer
gift
system
card.
is down.
he won the gift card, but it keeps giving. We'll leave it at that.
And we're gonna try it again tonight.
And their bet was
well, he said that the two leading vote getters in the MVP would either be Westbrook, which everyone agreed with, and Paul George, which practically nobody agreed with. so
he was adamant, but he always said it's
early, so early November.
It's only November.
Yeah, that was the legendary quote, and eventually it became clear that Paul George wasn't gonna finish within a country mile of the MVP award, and
but Paul George is with OKC as well.
Okay.
So you got
Him and
Paul
Melo.
George, Russ, and Melo. Thoughts on that team, B?
a lot of egos.
I don't know, man. Yeah, it's only one basketball, man. That's a lot of shots. You got Westbrook at the. I don't know. I don't know.
It's not a lot of
I don't know how
generosity.
they're gonna play together. It's almost like. It's almost not. It's not your talent, but your mix of talent, your
Right.
pieces.
Yeah.
Right.
If they fit together, you're good. But you can have a lot of talent and not be able to win any games.
It feels like
know.
talent for talent's sake.
Yeah.
Like we
Yeah.
got a lot of talented guys. It's like
Yeah.
but it's
Right.
only one guy can drive the car. You know what I'm saying?
What did I hear the other day? All coaches like glue guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
coaches like glue guys. I don't know if there's who their glue guys are.
I do think who's gonna do it.
Who?
Yeah,
Oh,
with both of them.
But
Yeah.
and both, I think that made.
Yeah, George and Melo seem redundant.
I would have
Yeah.
rather had Paul George at this stage
I would too.
than Melo.
I would too.
But
I
if
would
we
too.
could ever get Olympic Melo and
Olympic Melo's unbelievable.
Olympic
killer.
Melo,
He's a matchup nightmare.
man.
But I tell you, Westbrook though, I mean, probably the most athletic point guard ever
hmm
to put on sneakers.
Yeah.
Ever. Now, I don't know how he's going to be able. Last year he had MVP. He was the MVP last year,
Correct.
wasn't he?
Yeah.
Correct.
He took all the shots. He was used to playing.
Yeah.
He's the man. You're gonna ask him to give up a lot of that now. With, you got Carmelo on the wing and Paul George on the wing. Like, yo, I'm open.
Right.
He's like, I see you.
At some point, he's
Get it
got
off
to
the
break
rim,
down too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His, I think it's definitely his body's going to change. But remember I said this before. I think Westbrook will be better when his body starts to break down because he's got to think through the game. I don't think he's a.
They said that about Derrick Rose.
No. Derrick Rose's game was this.
But that's Westbrook.
Yeah.
But Westbrook's he can do other things. I think he's super intellectual. He's smarter than I think we give him credit for. I really do on the court.
Have you seen
But
his clothes?
But that's a whole different thing. Mario, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, no. Only thing about Westbrook is, I think Westbrook is crazy talented. He's a guard, probably unlike any talent we've seen, like you just said, from an athleticism standpoint. But this is the thing: if he can develop a shot like Mike did when he came around, like 30, 31, I think that we could see. I don't know. I think he could honestly win MVP again because the he's always been someone to share the ball. We saw that when they had
Has he?
Yeah, he's averaged like 8 assists for his career.
But he has his usage rate is so off the charts that he has.
He has the ball in his hand.
He's gonna be either the scorer or the person that made the pass.
This is gonna be my only knock on the team. How will Melo fit with the team on defense? Because Billy Donovan is a defensive-minded coach.
Okay.
Melo doesn't really play a lot of defense.
Oh, Melo's not playing defense.
Well, that's where Steven Adams comes in.
He is not playing defense. But my thing with Westbrook is, this is just a question. I'm not saying this as a statement, but with him winning the MVP last year, getting the triple doubles, did he get that out of his system to where now he can be like,
hopefully,
you can hope.
Well, you think he did it because he was like gunning for it, or you think he did it because he had to do it?
Oh, he was definitely gunning for it.
That was
the fact that teammates would willingly not get rebounds after like free throws and let him step in and get the board was just kind of egregious.
I think when it started, it was something that he kind of had to do, but then once they saw he was on pace for it, then they were like, well, he's not.
I think it was a combination. Well, I think he wanted to get back at KD. That was kind of
it was like, look, we know we're not winning the title this year, and I think Oklahoma City, they had yet to sign him for the long-term contract that he just signed, so they were in a position of literally whatever. No one had more pull with an organization than Russell Westbrook had last year. It was just kind of like, look, man, if you want to, we'll rename the team to the Westbrooks if you choose to, because we know we're Oklahoma City and we know we're the smallest market in the league and no one's really dying to play here. So, look, man, we just don't want you to leave.
Yeah. Well, let me ask this, and then we're going to move on to the NCAA's real quick. Rookie of the year. Who's your vote? Mario, let's start with you.
Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons, I like that. I think that's a good one. Will, do you have any?
I'll go with Ball.
Okay, Lonzo, I like that too.
I like Will's suggestion. I like Lonzo Ball. Yeah. He's going to play a lot. He's going to have the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
He's going to get the time.
Yeah.
Ability to make plays. Unselfish.
Yeah.
Long. Fast. Smart.
I agree.
I like him a lot.
Yeah, I'm going with Ben Simmons.
I
think that year to mature does a lot, so it's gonna be interesting.
I saw Ben in the preseason. He's like 6'10", playing two guard. He's out of the other day when I watched him play. He's playing with the Sixers. I forget who I was watching. But I'm like, man, he's so big.
He's a big guy.
He's almost like
him and Embiid almost look the same. Like he's like 6'11" now. Yeah.
He's as big as a center. I don't think his skill level is what it needs to be.
Mm-hmm. He can't shoot worth.
He's got a lot of upside. He only spent 1 year in college, right?
Right.
He was hurt all last year, so he's really only a junior.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he needs another year of seasoning. He might be a bust. With what I saw the other day, I'm just like, well, he's like a guy who really doesn't know his game yet. He's a big guy who's out there trying to, shoot and all that,
but he's somebody
overhandling the ball. He's not a two guard, but he was playing it. Actually, they were playing him at point the game I saw.
He's somebody though. I think that like he scored like 20 points a game in college and couldn't shoot worth anything. Like I think he's one of these dudes is just by sheer force of just talent, he'll just get numbers. Just like Ben Simmons is on the court and somehow you look up at the end of the game, it's like, oh, he got 17 points. It's like, how did he do that? Like, I went to the line 4 times and he, made a couple layups and got tip ins and everything. So
yeah.
He's not good at anything. I don't think. I mean, he's just okay at.
I think he's
not great at everything.
So he's got court vision. He's got that kind of. He's got a Alonzo Ball-esque court vision style.
But they're not going to win. Sixers are not going to win, and I don't think
you're not trusting the process.
You don't trust them?
Nah, I don't think they're they're not going to have a winning year.
What about
this year. They'll
Folks?
be losing.
You think Folks is going to do anything?
You know, I don't know. I've been back and forth on him.
You been backing Folks?
Back and forth on him. I liked him initially. Some things I watched, I was like, it's gonna take him a little bit.
Okay.
But I don't know. I do like the Sixers long term though. I think they're gonna. Embiid, I still like his game.
Oh, Embiid per 48 is an MVP candidate.
Yeah, I like.
If he can stay healthy, that cat puts in 30 a night.
Yeah, he's big and can move.
He's better than DeMarcus Cousins.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna get the mic off.
You have control of that too.
But I think one guy that you need to watch out for is
Okay.
Dennis Smith Jr.
Okay.
The guy can ball.
Yeah, no doubt.
Flat out.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's one of the top two odds on favorite because the Mavericks are gonna kind of give him the keys.
Yeah. Let him go. Okay. Hey, let's jump into this NCAA discussion. And obviously, things went down pretty hard not long ago with the FBI investigations and the NCAA now involved in looking at penalizing some of the schools. And from my understanding, there are over 100 college coaches being investigated right now. And possibly by the end of the week, 23 will be indicted. That's some of the reports that are out. And I think it got tweeted out today or something, but I've been meaning to say that Kansas will be one of those schools.
Dollar bill self.
Yeah. And somebody tweeted it out late, I think it was late last night, that Kansas could be looking at something before the season even starts.
Okay.
And I'm not sure, what all that entails. Miami, Florida could be in that as well, all tied back to the Adidas thing. But,
Okay.
how do and things have changed, B, since you played, since I played.
You didn't have to worry with that with Pony.
But the game is changed from a recruiting standpoint so much. Just even with AU, the grassroots basketball, how much that's developed, and social media, the game's just totally different. But with all this going down, I think the game's going to change. And I want to get your thoughts on this, B. Do you see that? Do you think things will change, and how do you see them changing?
I think things will definitely change relative to recruiting.
Okay.
I like the direction of college basketball with the parity.
Okay.
The increase in parity. It seems like they are constantly reducing the amount of time you can have to look at kids. There's a shorter window.
Right.
So, but with the internet and social media, like Mario was just saying, there are really no surprises anymore. Like everyone knows, and you know better than anybody, Alex, with your sports program, how that works. I think this is a good thing that's being exposed now. There are certain schools that, that recruiting, you just scratch your head. Like, some schools are getting top 25 recruits that have never won before.
Yeah.
Like Auburn.
Yeah.
You know the last time Auburn won an NCAA game?
What's that?
It's like 1999.
Wow.
You should see the recruits that they have been getting.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, he got put in jail.
absolutely. Now you wonder why.
Charles Barkley makes a phone call and you're good.
He just good.
Just terrible.
But yeah, it's like now I think this was an understanding. Like everybody knew
Yeah, no doubt.
that these guys are cheating. Some schools cheat.
Yep.
But no one ever knew how they were doing it.
Uh-huh.
The NCAA didn't have the resources to expose them. Now the FBI does.
Right.
So that's the difference. It was my understanding the FBI had a financial advisor that was crooked, and he was going down, and he just kind of blew the whistle like, hey, let me tell you what's going on over here. The FBI launched a 2-year investigation, wiretaps, are setting up some of these coaches to take bribes, and they were taking them. So now we know how they were doing it.
Right.
And so I know the Xavier coaches used to always tell me, well, we're recruiting this kid, but this school is now involved, so we're done.
We're backing out. Yep.
We're done.
Yep.
We're just not going to win.
Yep.
They didn't know how. Now we know how it's going to happen. So the NCAA hopefully will somehow, they're going to have to change the way recruiting and these shoe companies get involved with these players and AAU and all that, and I think it's a good thing.
Absolutely. I agree. Mario, you have something to say?
Yeah, I just want to, this is the only thing I want to put on this.
Okay.
I would really hate to see any type of sanctions where a school is not allowed into the NCAA tournament or to play in the preseason tournaments that may be over like in the Bahamas or whatever because of these sanctions. Because in reality, is it really the player's fault? You know what I mean? If you got a recruit who's the number 10 player in the country, and they're offering him cash, and let's say he lives in low income housing, can he really refuse to turn that cash down?
Well,
poverty is no excuse for immorality, Mario.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you got parents and you got a family, who are gonna look at you like, yo, we need that.
Well, I don't blame the kid. I blame
the
the
school.
Yeah,
You blame the school.
But I'm saying,
offering.
but like North Carolina didn't get punished in this latest go round of whatever, and
That was the academic.
That was
yeah. I mean, it was a different thing, but like clearly a weaker school would have gotten punished. But it's certain schools just like
Right.
it's just too big to fail. Like
Yeah.
you're not gonna dole out. Like I'm never against hurting the kid. I mean, hell, I'm pro the kid getting money.
Right.
Like if you
Right.
like I would advocate you take any cash.
With what Glenn said, B, do you think players should get paid? College players.
I think if they can find a way to do it and
And not get
police it,
that.
which is very, very difficult. I'm sure we
Yeah.
have some smart people around. If I'd be okay with it.
They could find a way for everyone else to get it.
I know that, when I was in college, I was on scholarship, I couldn't work.
Yeah,
I
that's
couldn't
right.
work during the year. I don't know if
Yeah.
it was that way when you
It's
were
the same way,
there.
yeah.
Like, so,
Yep.
you don't have $10 in your pocket to go out to the movies if you
Yeah.
have an off day. Yet you're helping bring all this money into the university. The coaches are getting paid. The university's,
Right.
benefiting. So I think if they adjust the rules, I think there's time to discuss that.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I'm with you. I don't blame the players. You blame the institutions.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're calling all the shots. They got the money. So.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I was just gonna say, especially because considering I'm sure it was some Xavier jerseys floating around with the number 23 on it, so I know he was probably looking in the stands like, oh, I need some comments.
Absolutely. I'm like, where's my, where's a little taste to the house?
No doubt.
I need a little taste of that, but no.
Yeah, I don't think most people know that during when you're in basketball season as a college player, you can't work. And at least when I played, I'm not sure about some of the guys now. I know they don't work. I know some guys worked during the off season, but then even when some of my players worked during the off season, they were criticized for the jobs they did get. Like, oh, he works at
That's a fluff
job, right? He's getting paid more than I'm getting. Our normal students getting paid. They still get criticized for that, but I don't think people understand that. I think it's going to be very interesting, and I have a little bit of a different perspective than a lot of people because I'm involved in youth basketball on the grassroots side, in which a lot of these players that I deal with are recruitable athletes. So I see a lot that goes on, and you were spot on when you say that. You look at Xavier. You can even look at the University of Cincinnati and other schools. They're recruiting a player. The fan base gets excited because Xavier or UC is recruiting that player, and then all of a sudden Xavier and UC drop off of that kid's radar. Well, there's a reason for that, and that reason now is coming out. I think I'm glad fans are starting to see that. There were a couple recruits that UC didn't get, and fans were mad at and angry with Mick, but I knew why that player didn't go to UC, went to school X, school Y. You know what I mean? And UC backed away and said, no, not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of times you would talk to the coaches, because I'm always over at Xavier talking to the assistant coaches, like, hey, man, who you recruiting? Who you after?
Sure.
I want to hear about the stories.
Yep.
And a lot of times they says, well, we didn't get this kid. And I used to think like, some of that might be sour grapes. Like maybe you didn't work that hard, or, you know. But now we're realizing like, oh, okay, maybe there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
They used to always say, well, this team, this school, they cheat. They cheat.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, oh, really? Or maybe they're just outworking.
Yeah.
But no, now I'm like, oh, now there is something to it.
Yeah.
And it kind of legitimizes. It almost makes the teams that do it the right way, like
Sure.
you see in Xavier and schools like that, like okay, they're not crazy. There is something to there is some underhanded dealings going on.
Absolutely.
You know, like Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State used to get some players out there. I don't know if you've ever been to Stillwater.
I've not.
But there's no reason to go.
Yeah,
you know.
That T. Boone's Pickens money.
I mean, they had a player by the name of Nash. You remember him? He was probably the 4th ranked player in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And he went out there. He was around the time my nephew, Shane, when they were both kind of getting recruited. They were in the same class. And he was like the 4th ranked player in the class. And he went to Oklahoma State. And I'm just like, why would you go to Oklahoma State? I don't know why.
Yep.
Andy Enfeld at USC.
He what?
Andy the head coach at USC.
Okay.
He used to be the coach of Florida Gulf
Yeah.
Coast.
Okay. Yeah.
Dunk City.
Xavier played them last year in the tournament. You should have seen some of the players they had on their team. It was like, where are they getting these guys?
Yeah.
Now we know why and know how. So
Well, it's going to be interesting moving forward on how they
adjust that, what rule adjustments they're going to make.
Yeah.
What rules, the recruiting rules, and it's probably going to change your business altogether, I'm sure.
After the podcast is over, we need Alex to give us the names of the teams that are going down. By the way,
I know.
By the way, Las Vegas odds for you know, if you know somebody who might not be coaching next month, that surely would affect the Las Vegas odds for betting futures going forward.
True.
So we'll be picking your mind in the next half hour.
Oh, well, I want to jump into a couple rapid fire pop culture things, and there's so much going on right now, but just a couple rapid fire here. OJ is free. I don't know if you guys saw, and Mario puts his fist in the air when I said OJ's free.
Free OJ. He's free, man.
He's free, and I don't know if Glenn saw this, but there was an article that came out and had pictures of OJ. He was out on the town this weekend, and you know what?
He loves life.
He was He was spitting some game to a couple.
Shoot the gift. That's what he does, man.
Hey, he's still smart. Now let me ask you this question, like, and we'll just leave it at this. But if you're a woman, if you're a white woman that is blonde hair like they were, how do you? that's what he was talking to.
That was in his wheelhouse.
How do you? I mean, you obviously know the story.
Yeah.
But they were intrigued. The one lady was. You see how close she was in the picture?
Yeah.
To OJ. How do you? I mean, what goes on there, and how do you?
A star is a star, baby.
Is that what it is?
It's OJ, man. It's OJ.
Yeah.
OJ, I understand, had like, I mean, you remember how big OJ was in movies, man. He was running through airports for Hertz and commercials and Naked Gun, and he was in everything.
Yeah.
I mean, that star power doesn't go away.
He's a unique personality, to say the least. Like, if you watch that, the award-winning documentary, the Oscar-winning documentary, it just really gets into like the character. Like he's that good. Like he's that polished. Like to the degree, like they were saying, like the final episode kind of deals like with his life after the trial, and just like, you know, people still to his face treat him like a celebrity because they don't equate that persona to the person that probably murdered these two people.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird because, you know, usually if when someone murders somebody, you have no knowledge of them. Like I'm sure, like if we had a family member that killed somebody, you could be like, okay, well, I knew him before this, so I can accept him after this.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if it's somebody who like all I know of you is that you killed somebody, that's a whole different level. You know what I'm saying? But with like OJ, it's like, really? Like OJ killed somebody?
Yeah.
And it's like the evidence seems to look at it, but I do know him as a good dude. Other than this, and now you know what I'm saying? It's just it's a lot of dynamics going forth at the same time.
Yeah, it's my understanding that he's got a really big personality.
Yeah.
And my guess is he probably hasn't lost that.
Yeah.
You know, when you're locked up as long as he was, I'm sure he.
Man, he's got so many stories to tell.
He's got people. You know, some guys are like guy.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, some people have that. Some people just rub you the right way, and my guess is I've never met him that he's got that.
Yeah.
You know, some people rub
In
you the wrong way.
spades.
Yeah, and that's my guess. And he's got gift. He's got the gift. He can shoot the gift with the ladies. So
Hey, he was working it this weekend in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
He been thinking. He got 7 years of thinking new game lines.
Yep.
A couple other things I got here, just more rapid fire here. Like I said before, season 14 of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Am I the only one here that watches Keeping Up with the Kardashians? Glenn, have you?
No, I don't watch.
Not for 1 nanosecond.
Okay,
I will not watch.
Mario?
I've seen episodes, but I don't watch it.
Okay.
No, I don't waste my time with that.
Okay, okay.
How much is Kanye on?
Not very much.
Okay.
The North's on there quite a bit.
Okay.
The great thing, what I love about it is
What you love
Yeah,
about
what's
it?
the appeal?
the level of wealth, how wealthy they are, and the things they do, and just to see the behind the scenes. I mean, it's not like I'm a fan of the car. I like watching the car wreck.
But you're a fan of wealth.
I'm a fan of wealth, and I'm a fan of just, I mean, the things they do, the stuff they buy. It's just like,
If
what?
you got that much money, you buy anything.
Is it like Michael Jackson?
unbelievable,
Remember Michael
yeah.
Jackson went to Vegas with buying
Yeah.
I'll take
just
that.
BS?
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Exactly.
Yeah, he was walking
Yoo-hoo.
through. Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
the wildest thing ever.
That was wild.
And that's how the Kardashians.
Well, if that's the
show
case, I'll watch it.
You should. I mean, it is bizarre. One great episode that just occurred was
It's great.
you won't hear that very much.
Go
One of
great.
the better
Okay.
episodes. They all went to Cleveland to watch Tristan
LeBron.
Thompson
Okay.
play, and they're walking around, Cleveland, and they're walking down the street, and I want to say, I can't remember what part of downtown they were in, but there was like nobody downtown.
Okay.
And they're just like, oh my God, they had on fur coats, sunglasses,
Yeah.
and it's like 70 something degrees, and they're like, where is it? People should be running out of buildings taking pictures of us. Like, I mean, it just cracks you up, and you just like, what?
Real chill in Cleveland.
Take some time and watch it. Season 14,
Time
Sunday
out.
nights. Check it out.
No.
Uh,
But hold on.
Yes.
Is it truly that Chloe is pregnant by Tristan?
all signs point to it. I believe so.
Oh dang, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, they
It's
said
unfortunate. Why?
they
For him.
Oh, okay.
they addressed the Kardashian curse.
Okay.
I've never heard them actually address it, but one of their friends
Okay.
brought it up to them. I want to say Chloe. I believe Chloe has a friend, and she just called him out. She's like, "You all know about this Kardashian curse," and Kim's like, "What? What are you talking about?"
I don't believe it.
And she's like, "What do you mean? There's no curse."
How don't she know?
Oh, it
Who did she curse? Like
No,
Reggie
It's
Bush?
the curse.
they said there's a curse that if
Oh,
you
no,
date
but I'm saying, but like, what are the examples other than Lamar, who had his issues previous to that?
Well, what about the guy she used to date in the NBA? She was
Chris
married-
Humphries?
Yeah, Chris Humphries.
he got cut.
Yeah, it's great.
But I mean, he was kind of came out of nowhere anyway.
No, like
They were
the
married
guy
for 60 days, right? 70 days.
If that.
something like that.
I think you guys need to watch the show. All right, Hugh Hefner
Yeah.
recently passed away. I didn't realize he was that old.
Oh yeah.
Is he 90?
91.
Yeah.
91. Yeah.
Any thoughts?
I was real complimentary of Hugh Hefner when he passed away, and then I start seeing girls posting stuff like as if Hugh Hefner was on the wrong side of feminist thought in 2017. So I don't know what to say about Hugh Hefner. I don't want to turn off any
of our female listeners, viewers.
I mean, obviously he's a legend, right?
I would say so.
Yeah.
I used to appreciate his magazine.
Yeah.
That's all I can say about
Hey, how far we've come from magazines to the internet. How would he exist today if Hugh Hefner was
25.
25 when he started the.
Well, you couldn't. His product has been made free.
Yeah.
So you couldn't really do it. It's almost like saying, what could a top flight marijuana dealer do right now if they were like 20 years old? It's like, well, your game is pretty much gonna be dried up now. Like, you were the only game in town with these naked women for a while.
But he was you have to admire him for the empire that he built.
Man,
I mean, I saw a story on 60 Minutes the other day about his son, who now has taken over.
Okay.
And I think he's 30 years old.
Okay.
And now he's trying to transition to an online version, and trying to modernize things. So.
And he was real like progressive and stuff like
Yeah,
as far as racially and stuff like that. He
Right.
I'm playing. All right.
Mario, I seriously for a second thought.
Record scratch.
Tell me.
But he was on an episode of Fresh Prince.
He
Okay.
was, but that's the other thing I was going to bring up was the mansion. Like, how many people, just even respectable people, wanted to go to that damn mansion?
OJ included.
OJ's probably there right now.
Been there many times.
Yeah, right.
OJ, the Kardashians.
Snoop, all of them. So as we transition from Hugh Hefner to what's going on right now, the co-founder of Miramax and the Weinstein Company, Harry Weinstein. And that was a big bombshell. I mean, you can't turn the TV on and not
that's crazy.
hear about this. I mean, it's kind of like we saw not long ago with Bill Cosby. One accuser would come out, I believe, with Harvey, 10 accusers had come out. And the rumor is his brother, Bob, had really set him up for all this. Him and his brother, Bob, do not have a very good relationship.
Okay.
And apparently they had many verbal altercations.
Okay.
And I guess Harvey really, he bullied him. So he kind of set it up for him to, apparently, rumor is.
Okay.
So
Time on him.
that's what, and then you've got the 10 accusers and all this. But how if you've watched, I'm sure you've seen this, Glenn, but they showed.
And he's such a handsome guy.
He's a stud.
Have to resort to
But they showed all these clips over the years of people dropping little clues of what he was doing, and they did it as a joke.
Okay.
Have you seen that? Like Gwyneth Paltrow was on David Letterman.
Okay.
Back in like 2005 or whatever it was.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
She said something like,
Yeah.
sleep with, I'm just like, whoa. Yeah. And people were dropping this, but they were fearful of this man because he was so powerful.
It's such a weird thing, and it's just like, I mean, what, like, if you invite a woman up to your apartment and you have nothing like but a robe on.
Right.
I mean,
that's what I do.
You think it's gonna happen?
Yeah, I mean, no, why I think, that's what I guess people can make a case. But it's just like that's such a bizarre thing because obviously it's implied what you want to happen.
Sure.
But like, it's not. I mean, he to my knowledge did never like rape somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, so to speak. But
Right.
he obviously did things to, imply because of his superior position. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like, what's the line on that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's I've seen as many as 30 women come by.
Yeah, it
come out.
The list grows by the day.
Grows every day.
Yeah.
And it's just another guy. It's like similar to that hot mic moment with our president.
Uh-huh.
It's just like you kind of knew, like, all right, guys with power and money would take advantage of people.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But it's another thing to when you actually hear how how it's done.
You're like,
It's just like amazing. Like,
right. I agree.
like it really like ticks me off. I mean, I have a wife. I have 2 daughters. I have 3 stepdaughters, and to know that someone like that's like a predator on single or just women, period.
Sure.
Yeah,
It really it's like, man, I'm so glad that it's coming out and he's being exposed.
Yeah.
And he's been doing it for what? They said back in the 80s.
Yeah.
People,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
I'm just glad. I wish people, hopefully, moving forward, if someone else is doing this,
Yeah.
that people will come out of the closet and say, hey, why did these actresses wait so long
Yeah.
to come out?
And if people just believe them, this sounds like something that's true. You know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying?
And it's been my understanding that he has settled
Yeah.
multiple
Okay.
lawsuits.
That's true.
But part of it was like, if I give you this money, you can't say anything.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's
yeah.
how he gets around it. And it's like he has so much money, he can manipulate situations and still continue to prey on
Yeah.
young women. I
Yeah.
mean,
And-
what a punk.
And apparently, Brad Pitt rolled up on him.
Yep.
Okay.
And it was at an award show, and he was like, "Look, you touch Gwyneth again, we got some problems." So he knew about it. Other people knew about it. But I
You
think-
mean Angelina?
Angelina.
Yeah, Angelina.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Angelina.
I was
Yep.
saying, he's going.
He
That's
pro-
Brad Pitt's game.
He probably did.
He picks another chick, but the fifth.
But no, there are people. I think the other side. There are people that know, other men that knew about this.
Yeah, yeah.
That just
Just kind of said whatever. It's just guys being guys or whatever.
yeah,
But,
that's crazy. But at least that's now exposed, and maybe other men that are in positions of power that are of that ilk will.
yeah, you need major people to fall
Yes,
until they set the
absolutely.
example.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you saw a thing with like Roger Ailes and Bill
Yep.
O'Reilly and stuff. And it's kind of like Bill Cosby's, one by one.
Yep, no doubt.
Yeah, Bill beat the rap last time, didn't he? Or there was a hung jury, or
Yeah, Bill got off.
he got off. Okay.
Nice wordplay.
Cosby, man.
Good job, man. Okay.
Bill Cosby. It's
I mean,
crazy.
I saw
Crazy.
I know, right?
I saw a
crazy.
lunchbox with the Cosby kids on it, and I can't look at the same.
Think about these guys like
Fat Albert was doing
what
that.
yeah.
Right.
I mean, I used to love Fat Albert.
No
Like,
doubt.
how can he do that? Like
Nah.
drugging women. Like
Yeah.
you don't have to drug
That's
anyone.
so crazy.
You Bill Cosby.
Yeah, it's crazy.
America's Dad.
Yep, that was crazy.
Are they? Can they even show? Have they shown any reruns of the Cosby Show? Are they still showing
On
those?
TV1.
Yeah, certain
Is he?
networks.
Wow.
Yeah, still show.
Oh, TV1. BET owns TV1, right? Okay. Yep. Wow. Well, hey, as we talked about, the Cosby Show.
What a note to end this
That's
one.
that's a blast from the past. But I want to jump into our blast from the past song, and what we're going to do on this. Is we always take a song of our past and talk a little bit about the artist and a little bit of the history of the song. And this artist in this particular song was very popular when you were younger. Okay, so this song we're about to play, the artist was born in Nutbush, Tennessee. You ever heard of Nutbush, Tennessee?
Nutbush, Tennessee.
That just sounds sexual.
That's where Hugh
Hefner.
Hefner.
With the brothers. Nutbush.
Her real name is Anna Mae Bullock. Okay?
Eat the cake.
She eat the cake, Anna Mae. She is considered the queen of rock and roll. 11 Grammy Awards. And this particular song the video came out in 1984. You ready, B?
Yep.
Go ahead, Mario.
Mellow moods.
Yeah. Oh, that's Tina. That's Tina right there, boy.
Tina Turner, ladies and gentlemen.
Tina Turner. Absolutely.
Speaking of men behaving poorly.
Yeah, that's right. The hits. Ike and Tina.
I like the build up here.
This is what producers produce.
Motion.
intern. How old are you, Will? 17?
Yeah, just or 18 now.
18. He knows every single word to this song. When I played it earlier,
Really?
he knew every single word.
Are you
I
serious?
don't listen to Teen on the regular, but
But
I know
no,
it.
I videotaped
I know
him.
it.
You know what I thought you were going to hit me with? Well, this was more in college. LL.
Oh, yeah.
LL Cool J.
Well, I figured
Cool
you were.
J.
I figured you were a smooth operator, so I figured
I was LL, man.
Tina was.
I was LL, dude. I was Run DMC, man. Everybody on my team. See, I went to Xavier. Everyone was on the East Coast. Okay.
Really?
All my teammates were East Coast guys.
Is that because of Pete Gillen? He recruited a lot of.
Yeah. Well, it's just. Well, no. Before Pete got there, Bob Stack recruited
A lot of
Richie Harris from New York City,
Okay.
Ralph Lee from Baltimore,
Yeah.
Eddie Johnson from Baltimore, all these guys from the East Coast. We all were Run DMC. I mean, we had the Adidas shoes,
Okay.
the Calvin Klein jeans,
Okay.
the Gazelles.
Oh,
You
wow.
know, I mean, we were all.
You have a
we
picture?
knew every. Yeah, I got a bunch of pictures back at the house,
Oh.
but you can't see that. You can't see that. That's in the vault.
What's the top 5?
Top 5, what? Run DMC? Oh, LL's my dude, man.
Hey,
You know, LL Cool J is my guy.
I'm with you on that.
LL is the man.
James Todd Smith.
James
I'm so with you on
Todd
that.
Smith. That's my number one.
People
You
can't
know?
look past. He's corny at times now, and he does some stuff that people criticize. But
His award show hosting career.
I know, but his catalog,
Diverse,
man.
He's diverse. He stayed relevant, man.
He did. You gotta give him credit for
He
that.
stayed relevant.
Yeah. Well, he was
I
so
mean,
young.
He's an actor, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't grow up, being an actor. He grew up. He was a rapper, and he transitioned to that. So, you gotta give
What was
big
that?
ups to him.
What was the sitcom he was on?
In the house.
In the House.
Yeah.
Thank
In the
you.
house.
That was a good show.
Yeah, they need to bring that back.
Related show.
Yeah.
All right, so B, I'm sorry. You had LL. Who else you have?
LL. I mean, all the rap guys. LL, Run DMC, Cool Mo D. See, I'm going back. You guys don't even know who I'm
Houdini?
talking about. Slick Rick, all them dudes.
Houdini?
Man.
Houdini? Fat Boys?
Fat Boys.
Delirious.
No
There
doubt.
was-
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, that was a classic movie.
Oh, it was.
It was.
Go back and watch that now.
Oh man,
Hey, any of them are still
it'll be tough.
alive? The big one's got to be gone.
Yeah,
You
he
don't
died.
see a lot of old fat people, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you just don't.
Eating pizza
Yeah,
every-
That's right. That's right.
Every video.
He died probably in around 99.
Now, let me ask you this: what do you think about the new hip hop? And as an old head, I'm gonna call you an old head,
Yep.
music wise.
Yep.
And coming from the LLs, the Run that put so much into the artistry, the sound of the music, and a lot of the music now you've got. I don't know if you're familiar with Lil Yachty, Uzi Vert, and some of these new rappers, Young Thug. I don't know if you're familiar with all these guys, but what are your thoughts when you hear the new sound?
I long for the old stuff, man.
Okay.
You know.
You're not a Migos fan.
I'm an old school guy. I don't like the music today.
Okay.
You know? I mean the raps are what they are. I mean
Okay.
it seems like there's a lot more words now than it used to
Yeah.
be. Just because they get a lot more in a short period of time.
What's the last CD you got?
Oh, I don't got CDs, man. I got Pandora, man.
Okay.
I just listen to Pandora, man. Old school rap,
You
that
just,
kind of thing.
just straight old school on
Just
there.
old school, man.
I'll
Yeah,
mess with
so
that.
yeah.
What was the last old school album you listened to? So I can remember mine.
Album?
Yeah.
You don't even know what albums are, do you?
I do.
I remember. I don't even.
Right.
Maybe
EPMD?
Stevie Wonder,
Okay.
That's the guy.
Song to
Oh,
the
that's-
Keys of Life.
Don't get me started.
Yeah, Stevie.
Stevie's-
Yep, the little orange, big 33-inch album.
Don't get me started.
Yeah.
That's my guy. That's my favorite album of all time.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm with that.
Song
I
to
listen.
the Key of Life.
I listen to Heavy D and the Boys
Heavy
when I
D.
work. That's why we played that to intro into the show.
Okay.
How smooth were the beats? Heavy D. I don't know if you're a Heavy D fan.
Oh yeah.
We got
yeah.
we got our own thing. Is that
Oh, yeah.
the most classic smooth
Yeah,
beat?
that's one of those things that just keeps on going.
Yeah.
Like it don't really get old.
He slimmed down a little bit too now. He
Before he
he's probably-
passed.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he
I was
passed.
just gonna ask you.
Couple.
Yeah, it's like maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was it?
it's crazy.
Yeah, man. Heavy D. That was
Around
my guy.
40% of 80s rappers are dead.
That sounds
It's a good amount, right?
Yeah, more credit to those, like LL Cool J,
Yeah.
that take care of themselves.
That was the crazy thing about like Tribe Called Quest. It's like Q-Tip and Shaheed are like perfectly preserved, like in shape, like middle-aged dudes, and then like Jerobi and Fife was just like on their last leg.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Fife had a condition, but like
Sure.
Jerobi is never like
right.
so it's like kind of weird, but yeah.
And he's a high-level chef.
Yeah. So
Crazy.
I mean, get high off his own supply.
Well, hey, I appreciate you coming on the show, and
No doubt.
as far as I'm concerned, and even though we are on opposite sides of the table when it comes to, schools that we went to, you are one of the greatest sports figures to come out of the city. I appreciate you've always been great to me. We didn't even tell the story.
Even when he broke your leg.
We didn't even tell the story.
Did he tell you how much he weighed at that point?
Yeah. I didn't know he did. But I've seen the photos. So yeah, he was
lucky to tip triple digits. Okay, lucky he's 100 pounds.
put him in a crossover. And broke his shins.
No, it wasn't that. He was a warrior though.
Yeah. I appreciate you coming on the show and all you do.
Anytime.
We appreciate it. We appreciate everybody listening to another edition of the No Further Comments podcast. We appreciate you, Super Mario, as our producer. Will, all the work you do behind the scenes, getting things set up. And Glenn,
Yeah,
all your knowledge.
I guess so.
And we're gonna get Glenn. Are you familiar with Snapchat, B?
Yoo-hoo.
We're gonna get Glenn on. He refuses to get on Snapchat.
Well, let's get him a pin before we get him to Snapchat.
That's true.
I think it's a dying medium.
Okay.
Facebook is fine.
Okay. We're out.